See how they fare in the cauldron of Ellen Road with John Hell.
Gary Lineker's 36th England goal last Wednesday heralded the start of Graham Taylor's era on the international scene. Today, domestic matters are on his mind with Spurs' first visit here for 8 years. Paul Gascoigne has caught the imagination of the whole country. His form seems not to have been affected, though, as a hat-trick last week against Derby emphasises. David Batty has been earmarked to keep Gazza at bay, and it's his fervent ambition to play alongside him in the England shirt one day. Howard Wilkinson makes 3 changes in personnel from last week's starting lineup. Chris Fairclough, just 10 days after an exploratory knee operation. Gary Speed and Imre Varadi all return. Tottenham leave well alone. Their only change is on the substitutes bench. Mitchell Thomas replaces Vinnie Samways, who gets a run in the reserves. And in common with every match in the country, there will be a 1-minute silence here. It's being observed as a tribute to David Longhurst, the York City player who died so tragically last week. Our referee this afternoon from Darlington is Robert Hart. He's been here on numerous occasions to Ellen Road. And a cracking atmosphere as Lee Chapman prepares to get the game in motion. Leeds in all white, Spurs in all yellow. Spurs 4th in the table, Leeds United 6th. And even at this early stage of the season, so much at stake, so much to play for. John Lukic, who's played so many times in Arsenal colours as well as Leeds against Spurs. And Lukic, by the way, the only player left here at Leeds who was a member of the last team to play against Spurs back in 1982 when it was a goalless draw. Batty has taken the free kick sharply. Sterland coming inside Naeem. Strachan's ball beaten out of by the chest by Mabbutt. Far side is Lineker. Making a forward run, and a good one is Howells. The one Lukic. Well, a complete misunderstanding there between Lukic and Whitlow. It was a good job Gary McAllister had gone back. An unnerving start for the Leeds goalkeeper, who over the years has had a very good record against Spurs. Something he and Whitlow will have to sort out. The Leeds free kick taken by Chris White. McAllister coming short. Instead it goes to around the penalty spot. Chapman, Varadi hustling for it. Straight up in the air from Gascoigne. There was now the road open to David Batty, who's had such an influential start to the season. Fairclough won that one. Here's little Strachan. We've not really seen him yet. Naeem, who plays down this left side, a former Barcelona man. And here is Batty finding Strachan. This is where Leeds look to be more fluent. McAllister playing it around nicely. Speed nudges it on. And Whitlow just couldn't get there. Turned back safely by Gudni Bergson, the Icelandic international. It's a really cosmopolitan side that Terry Venables has assembled here. With the Viking Torsved in goal, Bergson at right back, Van den Houw, born in Belgium, at left back, and Naim from Barcelona. Oh, and the back pass was cut off, and Batty just got away with that. Gascoigne challenged him. Still on the ball though. And he's a bit cooler batted than he perhaps was in his earlier days. Strachan. Looks like being a good confrontation between Gary Speed and Gudni Bergson along that touchline. Strachan trying to find him with that long ball. And this time it is a Leeds throw. McAllister will leave it for Batty, who has taken over the long throw role adopted by Vinnie Jones last season. Strachan with his organisational capabilities. Batty with a huge throw. And inside the area, Chapman's header! Kept out on the line. It was Pat Van den Houw who made the critical header. It was a very similar situation to the one at Everton on the opening day of the season when Fairclough scored. Berardi's done well here. Just denied in the end by Sedgley. Strachan trying to win it back. And Spurs were under siege for a moment then, but now they come with Lineker against Whitlow. There's a good pace now about the game. Allen. Lineker again, stumbles and didn't lose the ball though. Here he goes again, and he's created space for himself. Well played by Lineker. Here's the shot, Naim, and it came back off the defender, Fairclough. Corner for Spurs. Good action at both ends. So Torsved at the one end had a scary moment. The ball bouncing over the top of Mabbutt. Chapman a clear header. And it was a touch from Torsved and a header from Van den Houw which kept it out. Spurs corner at the other end. The cross from Lineker. And another unnerving moment for John Lukic. They really are being sorely pressed. The touch out finds Strachan. Well, that's coolness itself. So the only question about that moment where Lee Chapman got in the header was whether Torsved actually got the critical touch or whether it was Van den Houw's head. And this might give us another inkling. It bounces over the top of everybody apart from Chapman. The clear header there, and Van den Houw off the line. That settled it. Sterland. Chapman delightfully laid off for McAllister. Thumping shot straight at Torsved. McAllister's last goal in the Football League was scored on this ground for Leicester City against Leeds. That was a cracking effort. Beautifully laid off for him by Chapman. And Torsved's positional play, excellent. Strachan could quite work out where that ball was. Move forward again, and Fairclough decides to let it run, and he was bundled over by Lineker in the chase. Free kick Leeds. That's a real up and under from Van den Houw. One by Speed, now McAllister. Well, he's just had one unsuccessful effort That's the second one, another rasping try. He seems to have got the bit between his teeth today. They haven't beaten Hotspur yet. McAllister taking up some intelligent positions. Maybe just allowed it to run a fraction too long. This thing taken out of it. It's an important challenge by speed on Allen. Oh, delightfully done, McAllister. And Leeds are buzzing at the moment. Strachan, Chapman to his right. Skips around two challenges. Oh, tried to feed it through to Chapman, who would have been in a marvellous position. Lovely piece of play in general. Free kick against Sterling. It's a spicy encounter despite the scoreline. But Gary McAllister has shown up twice to good advantage. Leeds having to defend it with White. Gascoigne, we've not seen much of him in terms of prominence as yet, but here he goes. Lineker tries to relocate him, and there's an offside flag. Well, Paul Gascoigne, a hat-trick last week against Derby County. 4 goals already this season. Half as many as he got last season already. Down on the Spurs bench. Terry Venables looks reasonably relaxed. Well, Sterling still hoping to add to that one England cap of his. Howells has taken it quickly, and he's found Stewart in a good position as well. Some more defending to be done by Leeds here, and again Lineker's touch and Lukic down, grovelling maybe, but successfully. Lineker applauds the cross, and that all came about because of quick thinking by David Howells with his free kick. He found Stewart inside that penalty area, and despite White's lunging challenge, Stewart still managed to set up Lineker. A brave save from Lukic. Meanwhile, the first booking of the game is going to be administered to Paul Stewart for a foul tackle. Stewart acknowledging his part in that. Stewart to Naeem. Forward is Gascoigne, offside too. And Spurs are getting a little frustrated by the Leeds offside trap at the moment. They've been caught in it on numerous occasions. Chapman calling for it around the edge of the penalty area. He knows he's a good chance of winning the ball in the air, and he tries to lay it off here to Berardi. They did well not to bring him down in that situation. Sterling. Good cross as well for Chapman, and it flicked off the top of Chapman's head. Speed was coming in behind him. He probably wasn't to know that. But good approach play. Mel Sterling, who does play a good cross in, finding Chapman there. You can see Speed's position behind him. Sterling, bit of room this time. He takes a few strides and really humps the ball towards Chapman. Again the layoff. Allen found a little bit of space. Naeem's ball forward, cut out by Fairclough. McAllister. Chapman, no, deftly done. Strachan goes on. It keeps on going, Strachan. Tees up speed. It's going to go wide. Much to admire in the build-up. The final execution, unfortunately, didn't quite match. But Chapman and Strachan have a telepathic understanding, and that was so clever by Strachan. He could well have tried himself if he'd have threaded his way through. Knew speed was in attendance, and he had to go first time for it. Maybe he doesn't understand. He says he's from Barcelona. Gascoigne. So we're inside injury time in this first half at Ellen Road. No goals scored. Not many chances really. That's because the marking has been good. Nonetheless, the quality of football has been excellent. Gascoigne loses out once more, but wins it back from Strachan. He'll have enjoyed that moment, and he goes on, but he won't have enjoyed the finish. But he is the most animated of British footballers, and Gascoigne battling away with Strachan, the young against the old maestro. He won the day on that occasion, even if he couldn't finish it all off. Well, we kicked off 10 minutes late. We're having quite a bit of injury time as well. Tottenham finishing strongly here. Wry smile from Mike Whitlow. Long ball from Lukic. Chapman underneath it, finding Berardi. Referee played an advantage there. Was right to do so. Now Gascoigne loses out to Chapman. And he didn't like that. Now he loses out to McAllister. It's the old story in this first half of Spurs being caught in the offside web. But isn't life frustrating? I was just imagining the referee had forgotten his watch then, but that is half-time here at Ellen Road, and despite a lack of goals, there's been no lack of good football or enjoyment for the crowd. They had to wait for the off, but the football has kept them all on their toes. The end of the half is Leeds United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. 3 Spursmen around Berardi, and he beat them all. It's come here to Chris White, who tees up Strachan. Strachan shot held by Torsved. And the little Scot would be disappointed not to have beaten the giant Spurs goalkeeper. clear-cut opening in the first minute of the second half. Verratti really did marvellously there. He left 3 Spurs men in his wake, and when White, with the overhead kick, teed up Strachan, he might well have beaten Torsved. Torsved gives it the big boot. Fairclough is under it. Patty straight to Gascoigne though. Forward from Lukic, Chapman up there hustling for it. Speed with the header. Torsved, he really is a very big man and seems to control the whole of the penalty area. Fairclough under it, but only as far as Stewart. Lineker, he's onside this time. Stewart, what a marvellous save from Lukic. He's kept Leeds in the game. But for once, the Leeds offside trap didn't work. Stewart's a mile off this time, and the linesman still hasn't flagged over there. He was walking back. But what a great movement this was. Lineker, who was fully onside, alongside White, and a great stop from John Lukic. He earns his pay again. And again, nobody competed with Howells for that ball, so he found Lineker. Strachan goes back to snuff out the danger presented by Van den Hauwe. And Howells and Batty and Sterland in a little triangle there. And I think it's Mel Sterland who will be cautioned by referee Hart, who, well, even offers a smile as he books him. It's a tough old life, that of a professional footballer. Howells brought down Sterland, and he then reacted, and he shouldn't have done. So Mel Sterland cautioned, the second caution of the game. First was Paul Stewart. Spurs have a free kick, and you can expect Gascoigne to whip it in. This will pose problems for Lukic. It's coming out here to Paul Allen. Too long. Still a lack of goals then here. Paul Allen hasn't scored since the last match of last season against Southampton. Done by Whitlow now. Pursued though by Stewart. He might lose out here. And Howells chases into a great position. Well, Lukic wasn't sure. And Howells has beaten him. It went through Lukic's legs. And David Howells has put Spurs ahead on 56 minutes. They were torn apart. Howells, whose last goal was in March against Charlton Athletic, took advantage here. Whitlow had done well in getting the ball away, but then when he slipped, Howells got the chance. Lukic decided not to come. The ball went in off his right leg. Tremendous run by Howells though, but Lukic will be a little disappointed. Spurs have the lead, and that could be vital. Here's Verratti at the other end. Imre Verratti with the equaliser. But Leeds are celebrating. The referee, I think, is going to pull them back. He's given a free kick against Verratti. They can stop celebrating now. Disappointment for Imre Verratti. Referee Hart is an unpopular man at the moment, but I think he will have said that Verratti turned his man in the box and was fouling as he did so. That showed us nothing really, but Verratti bitterly disappointed. Here we have a longer look at it. Well, Verratti didn't seem to do anything wrong. And that could be critical to the final outcome, especially as they come again here with Van den Hauwe. And here's a second for Lineker. 2 in 2 minutes for Spurs. And it's all happening at Ellen Road. Leeds, who could have been on level terms not more than 30 seconds ago, now find themselves 2 down. And they will have to climb the proverbial mountain. Van den Hauwe cut it back. Stewart caused confusion, and Lineker certainly never misses from there. And it's 2-0 to Spurs. Well, the game has come alive with a vengeance. McAllister's here for Leeds. That should be a corner. An extraordinary 2-minute spell in which Spurs scored twice and Leeds had a goal disallowed, sandwiched between the two of them. They now have a corner of their own. Strachan to take it. Not a very good one, but he's got another opportunity. And it eludes McAllister. And Leeds are staring their first home defeat of the season in the face. They've got an awful lot to do. Howell stays down, and the referee tells the Tottenham trainer that he should not have come onto the pitch without his permission. The trainer is arguing that he thinks the injury to Howells is so serious he was required immediately and he didn't have time to wait. Well, it was Chapman on the back of Howells, and as he went down I think he just caught the boot of Gary Speed. David Howells felt a bit groggy, and the Tottenham trainer, the physiotherapist, is going to be booked because he came onto the pitch without permission to treat the player. Referee Hart told him immediately he had no right to be there without his permission. He obviously complained that it was a serious injury. And referee Hart tells him to sit down. I never actually saw him show a yellow card. That's dangerous, it's curling away. Lukic capable of holding on to those, no problem. Chapman, Speed, oh, it bounced away from his knee. And David Batty is going to be booked for that tackle on Stewart. Well, Stewart has been down on the floor more than he's been on his feet in the last few minutes. And David Batty just overdid the aggression bit. On this occasion, he was sticking with Stewart. He frustrated him by pushing the ball past him. And that flying challenge results in a caution. Well, it's a real cauldron, is Ellen Road, and visiting teams have found that to their cost over the years, but Tottenham have handled it well today. They've got to handle it even more now. They want everything to the Leeds crowd. They've got a free kick because of the push on Chapman this time. And Strachan plays it in for McAllister. Here's Speed! How did it stay out? That looked for all the world as though it was destined for the net. Strachan's free kick, and it's McAllister who gets in there with a back header. Speed timing his run perfectly. It took a deflection. Leeds his corner. Long, back post Berardi. In here McAllister again. Straight up in the air. Tottenham survived that one. And come again with Allen. Fairclough. Forward to Berardi. Shows good skill there, and so does Strachan in acknowledging the presence of Sterling behind him without even looking. Driven over to Speed. The header, meat and drink for Torsford. And Leeds are going to make a double substitution. And to do that, they'll bring off Gary Speed and Mike Whitlow. Glyn Snowden and Peter Haddock are the replacements. Here's Haddock. Towards Chapman, but it was too long for him. Comes instead to Strachan. He'll do well to retain possession here, and he's bounced off by Vandenhouw. He will be booked. Strachan clutches his neck. And Pat Vandenhouw, I think he's complaining that Strachan has made a meal of that. And you can see the fury in the eyes. Strachan points to the mark. And the referee will take Leeds' side rather than Tottenham's on this occasion. And he's running the gauntlet if he carries on arguing. Sterling to Batty. The Leeds need goals. Straight out, back from Snowden. And Strachan's come down, clutching his head again. But let's watch the action. Here's McAllister. Poor pass in though. And Gordon Strachan has rather overdone it, I think, and Gascoigne, oh dear. He's complaining bitterly, and Strachan is called to referee Hart and has shown the yellow card himself. Well, we've had a surfeit of bookings in the last few minutes, and this is why here, as he sends Gazza going head over heels. So Strachan and Sterling and Batty for Leeds all booked. Stewart and Vandenhouw cautioned on the Spurs side. 5 bookings. Yeah, it's not been that sort of a game, really. Just to remind you, Spurs still lead 2-0. Batty thumped it into the crowd. He's still looking for his first goal since Boxing Day 1987 against Manchester City. Chances here, 9 for Spurs. Gascoigne, well, he scored twice from this sort of distance last week, but he thinks now of not a shot, it's throwing the ball to Batty in the face. And this is exactly the sort of range he relished last week when he beat Peter Shilton twice. And he's developed a taste for goal scoring this season. Off on that occasion. Strangely, the Spurs defence does look a little vulnerable, and yet they've still got to concede a goal away from White Hart Lane this season. Chapman there. Snowden turns inside the area. Berardi, and They looked to the linesman, no flag went up, but this time Imre Varadi couldn't punish those Spurs defenders who'd left him in splendid isolation. Nicely done by Snowden, it really was. Yes, he was easily onside. White. Batty as industrious as ever, finds Snowden. Oh dear. Varadi lost his concentration. But wins it back. Imre Varadi, 6 to go on, and not the sort of shot to trouble an international goalkeeper. Strachan beating off Gascoigne, doing superbly well there. Batty still has Sterling outside him, might try and find Chapman instead. Chapman seemed surprised, and the whistle has sounded. Still Leeds look for some reward. They've not had any as yet. But Strachan with this cross tries to find Chapman in there, hustling for it, winning the corner off Mabbott. Referee Hart has had another look at that watch of his. It's not going to be their day. Disappointment for Howard Wilkinson and his staff as Torsved clings on once more. He's had the safest pair of hands imaginable. Again, Mabbott gets the better of Varadi. And the end of a stirring contest at Ellen Road, which Spurs have won with 2 goals scored in 2 minutes. The first of them from David Howells there, who broke the offside trap and drilled a shot through John Lukic's legs. Imre Varadi within 60 seconds had a goal disallowed and can feel disgruntled. But Gary Lineker, within 60 seconds of that, had profited when Stewart cut the ball back to him and he had a mere tap-in to give us a final scoreline here at Ellen Road of Leeds United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2.